Hi everyone, welcome to lindasueplantsforyou. Today I'm going to bring you an update on this gorgeous Burrows tail. I did a video not too long ago and some of you wanted to see the result of after I repotted her, and this is the result. I was not able to film the actual repotting because it was extremely difficult for me to do, even with I had help from my daughter and we were both struggling, and it just wouldn't have made for good viewing, I'm afraid. So we did manage to get her into a bigger pot, and we did have some fallout, which I'm going to show you shortly, but I wanted to show you the final result first. I am so in love with this plant. She is just beautiful, and she's growing and growing and growing. And this stand that you're looking at, my husband just brought home. It's another freebie, and it's gorgeous. I just love it. He sure has good taste in things. Okay, so this is, excuse me, this is my Burrows tail. She's, even though I watered her before we did the transplant, I still did have a lot of fallout. And I think it's just because those vines are so heavy, and they're just very difficult to move without losing the little pearly things on there. But so pretty. She's so pretty. I have her in my living room where I can see her all the time. Okay, now I'm going to show you the mess we made. And here we are. Yep. Now, I should tell you that in addition to what you're looking at, my daughter actually swept up another dustpan full of these, but I didn't want them off the floor, so I just kept what fell off on the table. And although it looks like a lot, if you take into consideration the size of that plant, I don't think we did too bad here. And these are a little bit shriveled, so I'm thinking that's why they fell off, because I did notice with this plant, when it's watered well, I have hardly anything fall off of it. If it's needing water and I bump it, it drops them like, it sounds like it's raining. So there is something to that, but anyway, and it's one of the reasons my daughter just didn't want to, here's some more. She didn't want to, I wanted to give her one of these, and she was reluctant because of the mess it made. But I assured her, if you find a good spot for her and she likes it there, you don't ever have to move her, and you won't have the leaves dropping off of her, because that's usually when that happens. Otherwise, I don't lose leaves on her at all. I water her very sparingly. You can see on here how shriveled that is. So that tells me that piece was not getting water, and I don't think she's going to do well in the repot either, so I'm going to just set her aside for now. But some of these, they're very plump, and they're very healthy. And when we're done with this, I'll show you I have another little pot started, and I am excited to make little pots of this plant, only because it has grown so fast and it's so healthy. It's just a really good specimen. You know, sometimes you can get a plant home, and no matter how well you take care of it, it just doesn't do good, even if it's in optimal conditions for that plant. And I don't know why that is. I've heard other people make the same statement, but nobody seems to have any answers as to why, other than it wasn't just a healthy plant to begin with. So I'm going to just go with that, and I guess what can I say beyond that? I don't know. I think that is a thing. And so if anybody has knowledge about that, I would love to have you make a comment and share it with the rest of the viewers, because I know that I'm not the only one with that problem. So, okay. I think what I'm going to do here, this isn't going to take long. I'm just going to put some soil in here, and the soil mixture is Happy Frog's potting soil with extra perlite added. Oh, and I wanted to put some sand in there too. Where did I put it? Okay. I like to use sand with my succulents and my cacti. They seem to like it. They seem to grow better when I do that. Not a whole lot. This is kind of a big pot, so I'm using a little bit more than normal, but and it helps with the drainage. Oh, I hope I don't start coughing here. This is awful dry, this soil. I'm going to add a little water. Not good for anybody to breathe that in, especially me, so. There, that's better. Okay. I think I want to mix that up a little bit, because I got a lot of sand in there now. And actually this pot may be a little bit big for what I'm doing, but not too bad, because I have a lot of, these are all going to be starts, you know, so they need room on top of the soil. Okay, I think that's high enough. I could go a little higher, but then I end up getting water all over the place. Okay, now this I can tell is the top. She's got her little rosette on the top. Very important whenever you're planting, whenever you're trying to propagate, to make sure you put the correct end in. For instance, it would be very tempting to cut this right here and stick this in the soil, putting this, you know, stick this in the soil this way. It's not going to root that way. They don't root upside down. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off of here and plant them separately. Actually, you know what? I got enough root on here. I'm going to just go like this. And I'm going to take this guy off. And I'm going to stick this part in the soil. And no, I'm not going to take time to let it callus over it. It's really not necessary to do that, folks. It does help. There is a chance whenever you cut into your plant stems that you could end up with bacteria and transferring that into that, like it's like an open wound. Okay, so that is the reason for letting it callus over, but I'm not sure that's going to be an issue. I just noticed this is broken here. Right here. Ugh. I'm tempted to leave it on there though, but no, I don't think I better do that. I am going to cut it right here. And now this is still the bottom. So I'm going to take the bottom leaves off and stick this in the soil. And that soil's pretty loose, and that stem is pretty firm, so I don't even really need to make a hole. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of these. This one, I don't know. This one, I think maybe I'll just put the whole thing in there, even though she's missing some. Should I or no? Maybe not. Then she's already starting out with damage. I think instead I'll cut it. Okay, I'm going to cut her here. And I'm going to stick this in. And I think she'll be okay to put in this way. Now this one is really dried here on the ends. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. They're very shriveled. I'm going to take those bottom ones off of there, and I'm not going to put those in the pot because I don't want them to rot. Oh, darn. I just broke the bottom off. Oh, well. That happens. Okay, if I'm not in the camera, I'm just pulling off these bottom leaves here. Just a few. So that I got a good amount of stem. And wherever there's a leaf, there's a node, right? A leaf. Wherever there's a leaf, there's a node. So we're going to put her in there. Okay. Kind of. I think I want to prop her on the edge a little bit here. Give her a little support while she's getting her roots. Okay. A couple more. Anyway, I don't know if I finished telling you the story with my daughter when I explained to her that, you know, as long as you find a spot and keep her there. Yeah, I did say that already. So she did agree. She said, okay, I'll try it. because I picked up my other little cutting that I have going, and I said, look at her, she's so cute, how can you not want her? So I kind of guilted her into it. Honey, if you're watching, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm not sorry. I'm happy because I want you to have this. It's such a rewarding plant. And like I said, I just got lucky. I found this at Stein's Garden Center in Wisconsin. I don't know how long I've had it now. I think... Honestly, I don't know. It's a year. It's at least a year. Maybe more. And I believe it was $14.99. And I remember, and it was the only one they had, and I remember walking past it and looking at all the other plants, walk past it, and I didn't even bother to look at the price because I thought there's no way I can afford to spend what I know is going to be on that price tag. Well, something told me just look at the price tag. I expected it to be anywhere between $30 and $40. It was $14.99, and needless to say, I could not get it off of there fast enough. Ugh, I was so excited. And then I was really nervous because I wasn't sure if I had good conditions for her to grow. Look at, now this one's got roots on her even already. So, I keep shoving this stuff in your face so you get a close-up, and then when I edit my videos, I think, why did I get the camera so close? You can see it better from here even, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stick her in there. All right. Okay. And I got a couple stragglers here. I think I'm going to just probably stick in there since they do have life in them yet. So happy and excited to see all the new videos that have come up on in the plant world in the last week. It's there was a period there where there was hardly anything new coming on, and it was a sad time for me because, you know, most of you know I can't leave my house, and I spend a lot of time watching well, not a lot of time, but I mean at least once a day I like to, you know, catch up on the new videos that people make, and there just were none, or I wasn't getting them. I subscribe to a lot of plant tubers, as we call ourselves, but maybe I have to spread my wings a little further. Okay. Suzette's Gardens, she puts at least two to three a week up, so that's my friend. I can always count on her. And we have a new one. I've mentioned her before. Chris's Garden Pile, P-Y-L-E. She's got a lot to see, so check her out. Inside and out, folks. And she's got such a cheerful home. It's so pretty. It's in blues and whites, aquas. Very pretty. Very, very spring-like. And she does outdoor too, and she's working on that now. So, okay, that'll be it for those. Now I'm going to, not carefully, I'm going to just pick these up, and I'm going to put these in the pot and just sprinkle them around. Because that's really how these get started, and that's also how they get thicker. They drop some of their leaves, and eventually they rot. The key is to keep the top of the soil damp without drowning the other stems, okay? So if you do this, make sure, you know, just spray the top of the pot. Don't, if you water this plant every time it seems to need it because the top's drying out, because you have to keep these damp. If you water this plant every time you do that, you're going to kill these. You're going to overwater it. Okay, the rest of these I am going to put in spag. And I believe my container's right here. But I forgot to get my sphagnum moss wet, so I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to get that set up here and I'll be right back. Okay, and I am back. Alright, so what I have here is a little, I don't know what this was from, and I guess it really doesn't matter, but it was a deli container, and I thought I would save it because it was a good size for propagating, and it's basically free, right? So why not? Okay, so I soaked my sphagnum moss, and I put it in. By the way, I have been mispronouncing that word for my whole life. I thought it was sphagnum, as SP, as in Paul. And I have heard other people pronounce it different ways. I think most of us do say SP, but I wanted to find out if I was the one mispronouncing it. So I looked it up, and sure enough I was. It's sphagnum, as F as in Frank. So it's, when you pronounce it, it's S-F-A. Although it's spelled P-H. The P-H is the F sound. So, like in graph. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. It's not important, but I thought I'd mention it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is all wet. I soaked it and I wrung it out. And I am going to spread these all over the top. Now, I have more here than I probably should be putting in here. But because I don't have another container handy, and because I have, I can't spend any more time on this today. I am just going to separate these between these two containers here, and we'll do the best of it. Do the best we can with what we have, and no big deal. If it turns out that they really start going crazy and sprouting, I can always take them out. I'm going to have a video on that actually very shortly here on my Black Knight succulent. You aren't going to believe when I show you what happened with that. So that'll be coming up pretty soon now. And I have to do some moving around of things because the light is changing, as you know, and some of my plants are not in a good place for the summer light. So that's what I'm working on. And as you all know, it takes me 10 times longer to do anything than the average person. So that's where really my time is going to be taken up here. Okay, it's almost a solid layer, so I think I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to spray this as well on the top, just to give it a good start. And I have holes in the cover just so it can breathe a little bit in case I forget to open it, which I do. And alright, I gotta figure out how this goes on here again. Oh, I think I got her. Okay. Yeah. Okay, she's on. Alright, so that's gonna probably be it for today. I gotta get her in some sun, get her sprayed, and then get her in some sunlight, and then we'll see how she does with sprouting. I'm gonna put a few more of these in here. I hate to throw them away, but I don't want to create a mess in this pot either and end up with issues, because, other issues. If it gets too crowded, then I could end up with moisture problems and all kinds of things. So we don't want to make it too full. And I might just, if I have another pot laying here, I might just throw these on top of them and just see what happens instead of throwing them away. And I will be bringing you an update on these, and you'll get to see the outcome. So do come back. They are very prolific. This plant is a very prolific grower, so I expect to start seeing new shoots coming up from here within a couple weeks at the most. So I hope you'll come back and see it. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday and a good week ahead, if I don't talk to you before then. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you wish to, and you can share it if you want to. I know my daughter does, and that helps my channel. Otherwise, just come back and visit, okay? All right. Thank you all again for coming. Bye now.